Hello everybody, and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Democracy 3 Electioneering, playing as France. Last video we had an election, which was great because we won in a landslide. There were a lot of undecided voters who decided to stay home, and we're going to try to swing them, but overall, our opponents got absolutely creamed. Why I have no members in my party, I don't really know, but that apparently is what is happening. And as a result, we are losing pretty hard on the fundraising front, but oh well, we're trying our best. We did get to make use of speeches, perceptions, manifestos to try and skew the vote a little bit more in our favor, and it worked. It was just kind of a minuscule effect. So I'm going to raise my foreign aid by 50%, probably this video, to fulfill my manifesto, and we'll see how much effect that has on the next election. I honestly feel like the electioneering expansion has more of an impact on people who are not very good at controlling the voter demographics. I mean, I walked away with like 20-some times more votes than my opponents because I know how to play this and, you know, skew groups. It's not just about making certain people happy, it's about increasing membership. So if you're playing the game well, I don't feel like electioneering as an expansion makes a lot of difference, even though it does add a pretty realistic aspect to the game that does make it more enjoyable for me. It's just not really necessary if you play the game well in the first place. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see how the next election goes. Maybe it'll be better, maybe it won't. I'll also forewarn you guys, I am expecting a phone call, so if I take a break in the video, that will be why. I accidentally bumped my car up against a curb, and it started making kind of a whoop, 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 whoop sort of noise as I drive it, and I had to take it into the shop, which is unfortunate because nothing quite produces stress and anxiety in me, like nauseous stress, quite like car problems or health problems, because you don't really know what's wrong, and it's really frustrating, so oh well, but enough of my problems, let's move on. So, year 1, what is the first thing that we want to do? Oh, sorry, year 6, really, but year 1 of this election cycle. What do we want to do? First things first, the controversial stuff. Creationism versus evolution. We already have an emphasis on evolution, which is great, but let's go ahead and max it out to evolution only. Now, this will upset the religious, but then it will pretty much eliminate their membership, which we already are doing, and liberalism membership goes up, which is great for us because it gets rid of some conservatives. Even though conservatives are relatively happy with me, I prefer the liberals. So we're going to do that. It's going to take a long time to fully take effect, about 16 turns to really impact the liberalism membership. So the sooner we do it, the better. At least that's my opinion on it. We only have 6 political capital left after that, though, so we should probably try to deal with something like the obesity epidemic, which is on its way down pretty reasonably. Uncompetitive economy is as well. Water shortage is a little bit harder. We will need to improve the environment even further. And I don't think I'm going to deal with it this video, because I'm kind of curious how much lower this is going to get, but eventually I want to shift the labor laws to try and get rid of the doctor strike. That will hurt my trustworthiness, no doubt about it, and that is unfortunate, but nah, can't be helped. Have to solve the health problems, have to get rid of the doctor strike some way or another. Let's start with obesity. Agricultural subsidies is one of the main contributors to obesity, so if I were to reduce this, yeah, basically just by making food really cheap and in gross excess of supply, people are eating too much, and as a result, obesity goes up. If I were to reduce this to, I don't know, let's say, let's just reduce it a lot. Let's say like 3 billion. The other reason I would want to reduce agricultural subsidies is because it reduces farmer membership. And the less farmers there are taking up the water, the more progress we'll make toward getting rid of the water shortage as well. So this is a double whammy toward getting rid of the obesity event and the water shortage event. So that's why, I mean, I probably could reduce it down to like 5 billion euros. And that would probably get rid of obesity. But we're going to reduce it down to 3. We're going to see what happens with that. Unfortunately, oh wait, no, never mind. I actually don't have enough political capital. Okay, why don't we go ahead and move on to the next turn then, and that'll be the first thing I do. Oh great, a food price crisis, and I'm about to cut some subsidies. Well, that's going to make the food price even worse, but you know what? You guys will be fine. You should eat less anyway. Have you seen how fat you French people are? Which is a hilarious thing for me to say as an American. I promise you, I recognize the irony, the sweet irony of this. All right, what else should we do? Well, we could always focus a little bit on improving our technology to increase our productivity. We could always increase the GDP. There's a few other things we could do. Where is the GDP, by the way? There you are, you're up in the top corner. You thought I couldn't see you. It's ticking down, interestingly enough, partly because of the food price crisis. Why don't we go ahead and pass the French space program? Yeah, we haven't done that yet. Space program, there you are. It's pretty expensive, that's why we haven't done it yet, but we have a gross excess in surplus, so why not? We will invest our country's efforts to explore space. I'm in space, so much space, gotta see it all. Yeah, I loved Portal 2. That was a good game. All right, yeah, pass it. It's expensive, but if we go ahead and move up to a space station, we will see, first off, Patriots are very happy and their membership goes up, which they have been dwindling lately, so I wouldn't mind improving that. Why not? It's fun. Unemployment goes down, technology goes up, religious membership goes down even faster, which shouldn't be a big deal for us because we're already going to get rid of it, but hey, this will just speed up the process. Technological advantage goes up even further, which is good for the productivity and GDP, and also we are perceived as a strong leader because, I don't know, we're unifying the French people in our ambition to become spacefarers. Something, I don't know. It's good. It's a good policy. If you have the money, you really ought to pass it, in my opinion. It doesn't really have any negative downsides besides the cost, so yeah, we'll go ahead and pass that first things first. What else should we do? We should go to... I don't know, actually, hang on. We don't have a lot of political capital left to do big things. Some of these are good, but they also increase, say, capitalist membership. Or they just ruin the economy in order to make trade unionists happy. No. We'll do compulsory foreign languages. This is pretty good and relatively cheap. It'll increase international trade, increase foreign relations, and also reduce racial tension. All across the board, good things. Very, very cheap. Why not pass it? Let's move on into the next turn. Obesity did come to an end. Okay, so reducing the agricultural subsidies did quite a bit on that front. It says unemployment is ticking up, but I don't believe it because I'm pretty sure the space program will counteract any increase in unemployment that we will have. People smuggling. An issue that really is hitting Europe a lot harder these days than it used to. A large number of people have been caught entering our country, hidden inside cargo containers in an organized attempt at people smuggling. Do we allow them to stay because they were desperate to flee persecution, poverty, and or death? And we are a very humanitarian, there we go, humanitarian, I almost messed up that word, but no, humanitarian France, so okay, that's pretty liberal, I think, and it'll also make ethnic minorities happy. Or do we deport them, and I'm pretty sure that will make the conservatives happy, and maybe the patriots as well. So liberal and ethnic minority versus conservative and patriot. I think we'll go with the liberal and ethnic minority. We will allow them to stay. Budget has decreased to a 42 billion euro surplus, but that's fine because we know where most of that money went to. It was 12 billion toward a space program, so normally we would have about 54 instead, which is about what we had last time. So the GDP has not gone up enough to really impact our budget, but, you know, we knew the money was going to go. It's fine. Doesn't scare me that much. The art of leadership is saying no, not saying yes. It is very easy to say yes. Tony Blair. I mean, he's actually kind of right on that point. You know, knowing how to say no is a lost art these days, not only in politics, but just in parenting. But that risks going into a rant, which I know a lot of you guys like, which is interesting. Why do you guys like my rant so much? I mean, I suspect it's because you like hearing some different political views, and or maybe they already kind of mirror your own, so you just like hearing that people saying something you already believe, in which case that's an echo chamber, which is not what I'm trying to create. I just kind of like to espouse some certain societal observations and problems that I'm witnessing, and I know that a lot of Europeans like to hear this stuff because, you know, hey, you don't always get to hear the American perspective in politics. Maybe that's interesting to you. I don't know. I could always go on more rants. I really could. I'm just kind of scared to do too many of them because then people will say, oh, you're pushing your politics on us. Let's not watch your videos anymore. Well, I don't know. To an extent, you have to live with it. But to another extent, I don't want to be excessive and upset people and, should I say, I don't know, isolate and shun certain people or just make them feel alienated. That's the last thing I want to do, so, oh well. Okay, so since we did compulsory foreign languages and space program already, I guess we need to focus more on liberal membership. That's what I want to do. Mostly for this video, I want to focus on memberships. Liberal membership. This is going to be ticking up. Did we ever check this out? No, we didn't, actually. The Race Discrimination Act isn't quite maxed out. We should do that, because it only costs one political capital to do so, and it's very cheap. And it will increase our liberalism membership by another 2.75%, which is pretty good. It upsets conservatives a little bit, but who cares? And racial tension goes down, which is overall a better thing. So for a liberal playthrough, you always want to go for the Race Discrimination Act. Really, no good reason not to do it. What else should we do? I don't know, actually. There's a lot of options to us, but not a lot of things that we need, realistically. I mean, I could always do some expensive things like a national monorail, but that's not too important right now either. You could always do something new. Rare earth, metal mining, vertical farm. Well, that'll increase our farmer membership. I might do that after I've gotten rid of the water shortage. What about the Green Electronics Initiative? We haven't done this yet. Sure, we're going to try to reduce electronic waste. What qualifies as electronic waste? I don't really know. Probably just increased consumption of electricity leading to increased power plant usage and therefore more pollution? I don't know. From cleaner mining operations to upcycling projects, a broad array of measures should make the digital world a cleaner place. Well, okay, fine. This will make environmentalists happy, energy efficiency goes up, CO2 emissions goes down. Pretty good, and we just upset capitalists who already hate me so much. What's a little bit more, right? Of course. It makes no difference to me at this point. So we'll pass the green electronics, we'll try to get our CO2 emissions down, which surprisingly are pretty well under control despite the fact that the GDP has been steadily going up during that time period. Well, not steadily, it's been a pretty rocky road as a socialist country, but nonetheless, usually the CO2 would be a heck of a lot worse at this point. How are we looking? Okay, the water shortage is actually about to go away, which is amazing. I think getting rid of some of that farmer membership did a lot. Well, wait, hang on. Can I click on this, please? Please? I want to click, please, click, please. Alright, the climate change adaptation is really what's getting to this. Farmers. There you are. 82% of France are farmers. This is seeming more like a communist society than anything else. I don't know. Wasn't that one of the major ideal situations for a communist society? Was a bit more rural, farmer-based, and so on, as opposed to socialism, which ultimately ended up focusing the population in urban areas and industrializing a bit more. Well, I think that's one of the subtle distinctions. I don't think that's actually part of the communist political philosophy. But then again, I only read the Communist Manifesto like once back in high school. I haven't really touched it since, so I could be misremembering, and if so, I do apologize for feeding you incorrect information. Let's go ahead and pass... Oh, geez, I don't freaking know. Small business grants? No. How about the Trade Council? Why not? This should not increase our capitalism membership, and it should increase foreign relations and international trade for a pretty low price tag, which is good enough for me. Let's also pass, I don't know. What do we want? Public services? No. Witness protection? Gated communities is terrible for us. No. Transport? Why don't we go, let's see, foreign aid? I can actually do this now. It only cost me 7 points. Sure, let's go ahead and max this out. Now, this is pretty expensive. It's going to be another 5 billion euros. And by the way, something interesting. Foreign aid, it says increase it by 50%. That was our manifesto. And yet, really, we're trying to increase it to 55%, not from 37 to 87. Which is sort of what you would expect, but I think it just increases it from 50% from what you already have. Let me do a little bit of quick math on that. 37 times 0.5 is 18.5. Add that to, yeah, okay. So, increasing 37% by 150% is 55.5. So when it says increasing foreign aid by 50%, you're really just taking the current value. So if I wanted to reduce, let's say, the income tax by 25%, and currently it's what, 56? So really I'm trying to reduce it down to a 42% income tax rate rather than 31, which is what you might have otherwise been inclined to believe. 56 minus 25 is 31. No, 75% of the 56 is the new goal. That's how this works. So, all right, yeah, but we're going to go ahead and max out the foreign aid because it's otherwise pretty good. Patriots will be very unhappy. That's unfortunate. But liberals will be like it. Foreign relations go through the roof, and we are seen as a more compassionate leader, which is just fine and dandy as far as I am concerned. Let's go ahead and move on into the next turn. I know I have 8 political capital left, but I'm not really spending it on anything in particular. The water shortage has gone away. Excellent meteorologists inform you that water supplies for your country are under control for now. And we have an internet tracking event. This is the corporations using big data to analyze their behavior. It's basically Google ads, monitoring your internet traffic and saying, hey, you seem like the type of person who would be interested in these sort of products, so this is what will be lining your Facebook, right? Which always disturbs me, by the way. So, I don't know, sometimes it's completely off the mark. I was browsing my Facebook one day, and it had an ad for gay apparel on the side. I'm like, what the heck did I search that could even flag you for that? No idea. Absolutely no idea. So it's not a perfect system. Anyway, do we ban the tracking because it's just sort of creepy and also could lead to identity theft? Basically, it's a matter of personal privacy. Or do we allow the tracking? I think we'll ban the tracking. That sounds like a liberal thing to me. Surplus has increased, which is good, but the GDP is staying fairly stable right now. Not a fan of that. Patriots, yeah, they're not super happy, and they have 7% membership. It's been pretty low in France, but with the space program and stuff coming into play, I'm kind of expecting it to go way, way up, and their opinion of me is going to become more important as a result. You know what, on top of the space program, why don't we always go ahead and do the Mars program? Now, this was introduced with the Clones and Drones expansion. Tabloids have been speaking of a new space age for a while. It is time to reach for the stars. Why not start with Mars? Yeah, sure. Why not? That seems pretty good. We're going to go ahead and increase this, max it out, Mars base. Patriot membership goes through the roof, but they are a lot happier. Unemployment will be completely eliminated in France for all of time. Technology goes up, religious membership goes down. All in all, though, it's very, very expensive. 33 billion euros per quarter. But what are we going to use that money for, if not for a base on Mars, right? Yes, that's not the button I meant to click on. I miss things all the dang time. I just got a buzz on my phone which tells me that I missed my call, and I don't know how that happened. I guess I just have terrible service, all in all. There was like flags on every street corner. Did we already pass that? I'm looking for it. There it is. No, that's 16 political capital. I am one short. How very, very unfortunate. All right, well, to that extent, let's go ahead and do organ donation. That'll cost me 13. There are a few who would disagree that organ transplant is amazing technology, but it requires a plentiful supply of donors. Some religious people do not like this, so it's going to upset them quite a bit. Personally, I've never known religious people who have an objection to this, but I guess there are some religions out there that don't like the desecration, quote-unquote, of the body. I don't know any, but I guess it's a thing. In the meantime, though, because there are not going to be any religious people in France, I don't really care. This seems fine. Health, on the other hand, will go up by over 10%, which is amazing for only 33 million euros per quarter. And with that, I think that is the end of this video. I need to go and return my call. So thank you guys for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If so, then hit that like button, leave a comment with some suggestions, and of course, subscribe for my future content. I, as always, will see you guys next time.